thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up. Bang! Quality over quantity. LeBron has beaten some of the best competition in NBA history. He's the GOAT emoji. I will not cuss. I will not cuss. I will not swear. I will not swear.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the latest and greatest edition of the Brian Snow Show. I am he. Welcome to the broadcast, everybody. I'll be with you until 6 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Central. And boy, I got some things to get into that I never thought I would see in this lifetime. I'll get to all of that. But I'm going to tell you, portions of the show is sponsored by Recruiting Giants. At Recruiting Giants, our mission is to connect exceptional talent with exceptional companies. We strive to provide innovative and tailored staffing solutions to help organizations build successful teams. By leveraging our expertise and extensive network of industry professionals, we aim to drive growth, foster long-term partnerships, and positively impact the success of both our clients and candidates. We are dedicated to delivering exceptional service, exceeding expectations, and becoming the preferred staffing partner for businesses looking to recruit top talent. For more information, email Mark Zanetto at info@recruitinggiants.com or call 336-587-3659. That's 336-587-3659. Recruiting Giants, where talent meets opportunity. All right, let's get into it. Pat Fitzgerald. And I love my Northwestern Wildcats. I do. But as a fan and as an insider who covered athletics at Northwestern for many years, one thing I will not tolerate and never will tolerate is the harming of those kids. I've seen the scandal happen at Penn State, and now it has hit home in the worst way. As I read from USA Today, Northwestern head coach Pat Fitzgerald was fired on Monday after several former players revealed details of hazing within the football program, and days after an independent investigation confirmed hazing activities, quote, widespread among football players, close quote. University President Michael Schill announced Fitzgerald's firing in a statement to the Northwestern community posted online. While Schill said the details in the investigation would remain confidential, he revealed some new information as he explained his decision to fire Fitzgerald. Here we go, folks. Buckle up. He said that 11 current or former players told investigators that hazing had been ongoing, and he mentioned a new report on Monday where former players confirmed hazing, quote, was systematic, dating back many years, close quote. I'll read on. Schill said nudity, forced participation, and, quote, sexual acts of a degrading nature, close quote, were part of the hazing. While he said some players didn't think the hazing was harmful, he said others viewed it as causing significant harm with long-term consequences. Finally, Schill explained what led to his decision, writing, quote, the head coach is ultimately responsible for the culture of his team. The hazing we investigated was widespread and clearly not a secret within the program, providing Coach Fitzgerald with the opportunity to learn what was happening. Either way, the culture in Northwestern football, while incredible in some ways, was broken in others. Close quote. According to an executive summary released Friday, The investigation determined that the complaints claims were largely supported by evidence gathered during the investigation, including separate and consistent first-person accounts from current and former players. I am sick. I read the article from the Daily Northwestern that detailed a lot of these incidents, and it made me physically ill to think that one of my favorite Northwestern players of all time, Pat Fitzgerald, was willfully and woefully ignorant to what was happening to the football culture that basically he established since 2006 after taking over for Randy Walker, who passed away. I am ill to my core. I am ill to my soul. I will say again, I love my Northwestern Wildcats. I do. And I want to see how they bounce back after this scandal this summer. Basically on the eve of getting ready for a college football season where I predict that they will bounce back from a 1-11 year. The only win came against Nebraska, and they fell and the wheels fell off after that. They lost several games, being close within the games. They had the lead in some of those games. I remember the game at Minnesota where I thought they were going to come all the way back and win that one. Nope, they didn't. They fell off they fell off the wagon. And now to have this happen to the most popular and the most successful coach in Northwestern history, and for Pat Fitzgerald to be that woefully and willfully ignorant and not do anything to change that culture, dating back years. And Pat Fitzgerald, you did nothing to change that. I am sick. I am really, really sick. I don't know what to think now of Northwestern. It's a school and a set of teams I have loved since 1995 when they beat Michigan, Notre Dame, and Penn State in the same year. And number 51, Pat Fitzgerald, was the leader on defense. When he was named the coach in 2006, I was overjoyed. Because one of my favorite players did not take a job anywhere else, even though he was the defensive coordinator for NU for like 4 years. He was the defensive coordinator for NU, and he took over as coach after Randy Walker unfortunately passed away. This is disturbing. This is sickening. This is sickening. And here I thought that the one school, one of two, the other being Stanford, would not even think of participating in something we see at the bigger schools like a Penn State, like in Nebraska, like in SMU. I am ill. I am bleeping ill. I'm sick. I'm sick, man. I am absolutely sick. I am absolutely distraught, disturbed. I am sick. This is going to lead possibly to a death penalty. And it's going to kill all the success of Northwestern football. If Pat Fitzgerald is gone, then the whole staff needs to go. The entire bleeping staff must go. It must go. We got to get some new blood in there. And apparently it's not just the football team, it's the baseball team as well, with incidents of bullying. Really? Really, Northwestern? You're going to do that and this to one of your most faithful fans? And I was so excited to see NU basketball get to the tournament. Maybe it's going on with them too, with Chris Collins. I don't know. I don't know. I am just so ill. I am ill, man. And I don't think Pat Fitzgerald is the only one that turned a blind eye to this. I really believe that the higher ups turned a blind eye to it also. Because I've got to believe the kids went to the higher ups unless they were threatened with being cut from the team not to. This is sick. It's not the first hazing story I read, and I hate hazing stories, period. But to have it happen to a team that I have loved for over 20 years, I'm still going to use, I'm still going to watch the old games that I have stored on my computer, because that will probably be the best that I'll get from NU as a fan for the longest time. I will still cover NU from afar because, hey, I want to see them when they open their new stadium. I do. Okay? I love my Northwestern Wildcats, but I am absolutely sick. And I can't believe the entire staff wasn't fired over this. And you're right, big dog. There are going to be more dominoes to fall because I think the baseball program is going to get zapped. The football program is on death row right now as I see it. Someone, and Big Dog said it best, someone in the higher ups, and I'm talking about in the president's office, the vice president's office, or whoever the high ups are at NU, had to have known about this. They had to have known about this. The investigation did not cover evidence pointing to a specific misconduct by any individual football player or coach, but found that participation in or knowledge of the hazing activities was widespread across football players. Friday, Fitzgerald said in a statement he was not aware of the alleged incident. Monday night, he repeated he had no knowledge of any hazing in a statement released to ESPN. Fitzgerald said he was surprised when I learned that the president of Northwestern unilaterally revoked our agreement without any prior notification and subsequently terminated my employment. He added that he has hired legal counsel to take the necessary steps to protect my rights in accordance with the law. Good for you, Pat Fitzgerald. Good for you, Coach Fitz. You know, as sickening as this is, I kind of believe Coach Fitz. Now, I yelled at him earlier, that he had a chance, and this part is true. He had a chance to report what was going on, but in thinking about it just in the past few moments and reading that courtesy of USA Today, and thank you to my executive producer Cole Johnson for sending that to me. If you don't know what's going on, what can you report? And that's about all I have on that. Because this must play out. This must play all the way out before I can really make a true and honest assessment. I'm going purely off emotion right now because it's hit home. I'm from Chicago. And as I said, I've loved my Northwestern Wildcats since 1995. And Big Dog, you're right. As a coach, you need to be able to control your players. And apparently Pat Fitzgerald did not do that. Which makes me wonder, was the hazing going on under other coaches like Gary Barnett, like Randy Walker? It's a coach's responsibility to establish control and to establish a great culture. Now, on the field, they established a great culture for a few years, especially when they won the Big Ten West Division on 2 occasions. But off the field, this is a straight up mess. And I'm sick because of it. Protect your rights, Pat Fitzgerald, as you must, but this is your fault. All this coming out under your watch. And I'll repeat a question I said a moment ago. How long has it been going on? Was it just during Pat Fitzgerald's reign? Did anything happen during Randy Walker's reign or Gary Barnett's reign? How long has this been going on? How long has this been going on? This is quite sickening. And there's going to be more dominoes to fall. I know that, and I know y'all know that. This is the Brian Snow Show. Back in a minute. The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
Thursday nights are wrestling night on CSTV. Tune in every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific to see all the amazing Next Level Pro Wrestling stars on Thursday Night Throwdown on CSTVNow.com and the CSTV app on your Roku device.
PK Tire Pros, your one-stop on-the-spot auto service headquarters for a complete line of quality tires and auto services. For years, we have provided the Stockton, California area with the latest products and unprecedented services for everything we sell. And for years, our customers have been coming back. Take a look around. If you don't find what you need, visit us in Stockton, California. From the latest and best in tire technology to the services required to keep your vehicle looking good and running great, PK Tire Pros can get you out on the road quickly and at an affordable price. Stop by soon to see why so many people consider PK Tire Pros to be the one-stop shop for all of their tire needs. At PK Tire Pros, our friendly and knowledgeable staff, quick and dependable service professionals, and affordable prices all come together to make driving out on a new set of tires easy. On top of that, we never tire of tires. Stop by and see us, and you'll be glad you did.
Sports is the base. Life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
Welcome back to the Brian Snow Show. Brian Snow here with you, and I'm leading off with the ugliest story that I have read in a long time. And I'll say again, I have the article at or from the Daily Northwestern. I have that article. I read it last night amidst everything. God, I mean, I read it last night, and it sickened me even more. It sickened me even more to learn that was going on. And I took this break to really think about it. And Shane Lake is right. This is a legit dumpster fire. Heads will roll, I'm sure, and a lot of them do. A lot of heads need to roll. There's got to be someone in the high ups that knew about this and told everyone to turn a blind eye. You know, I believe that. And there will indeed be more dominoes to fall. More dominoes to fall. And it's just sick. I am absolutely sick of this. I'm sickened by this, man. That's all I can say. I am sickened by this. You know, you see scandals all the time. But when it hits your team, it hits different. This is hitting different. Big time. This is the question I have is a question that's in USA Today. How did Pat Fitzgerald, who was often selected by his colleagues as the coach they'd want their son to play for, lost track of what's going on? Did he stay too long? Did he get comfortable? Now Northwestern has lost its reputation as the gold standard for what college football teams should be. That gold standard is Kaputski. That gold standard is gone, long gone. Number of Fitzgerald's colleagues right now are bemoaning the way society has changed and quietly calling this dismissal unfair. I'd like to believe that it is unfair. Obvious decision to let him go, yes. Was it easy? Not a chance. And it spiraled from there. You know, all this began, and I'm reading my notes here. All this began in 2014 when the first black eye against Northwestern happened. Kane Coulter went to the National Labor Relations Board office in Chicago with signed union cards from his Northwestern teammates. It failed for several reasons. The NRL National Labor Labor Relations Board, I beg your pardon, made a puzzling decision not to move forward with the certification. And I'm wondering why. I didn't think about this when it was going on. I did not think about any of this when it was going on. I did not. I did not. The secret ballot vote to unionize Northwestern players were never counted. We'll never know for sure whether it had majority support in the locker room. But we do know that Pat Fitzgerald was staunchly against it and put his thumb on the scale in every way possible. And it cast himself as the only protector that the players needed. Well, obviously that didn't work out. Fitzgerald said, I just do not believe we need a third party between our players and coaches, staff, and administrators. And let me ask a question. When all that was going on, why was Coulter cast as the villain? I'll say it again. When this was going on in 2014, I did not think about any of this. But now with all this coming out and me thinking about how all the events went, it's sad. Absolutely sad. Pat Fitzgerald thumbs down the union request. And in retrospect, that could have saved his job. It just unraveled from there. A Big Ten West Championship in 18 and 20 notwithstanding. It just went down the frickin' tubes. And now NU has the unenviable task of doing it all over again, but doing it the right way, which brings to mind a question. What the hell is the right way? What the hell is the right way? Are we ever, and I thought Northwestern was it, are we ever going to have a college sports program that doesn't turn into a dumpster fire? That doesn't have a scandal? That does a big time program that doesn't have a scandal? Are we ever going to have that? I cannot remember the first time I read about a scandal. Can't remember. But this one hurts. This one hurts. This one's ugly. I barely have anything to say about it. And I mean barely. I barely have anything to say about it. It's sickening. It's very sickening. I just don't believe this has happened to my Northwestern Wildcats. And it's going to take a long time for them to fix. Back in a few. The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
Where did the time go? I don't know how. done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So talk, they hear you. You can do it if you try.
He was only 58 years old when he passed away. That outcome could have been different.
Colorado happens to be one of the worst states for radon levels.
It's in our ground and it seeps up.
The more you breathe radon, the more chance you have of DNA being hit and the cell mutated. The EPA estimates 22,000 lung cancer deaths a year caused by radon.
We all make choices. When it comes to alcohol, kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Have fun. Hey, have a seat for a second. Remind me about that party again?
Alex is just...
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. They want guidance and honest answers to their questions. And it makes a difference when the message is consistent and part of everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is The Brian Snow Show.
Hey folks, looking for the best way to experience live events? SeatGeek has you covered. With just a few taps on your phone, you can find the best seats for concerts, sports, theater, and more. Don't miss out on unforgettable moments. Download the SeatGeek app today and get ready for an experience like no other. Each ticket is vetted for authenticity and ranked on a 1 to 10 scale. And right now, if you use the code Snowman, you will get $20 off of your first purchase. The link will be below for those of you watching on YouTube. That's only through the power of SeatGeek, where fans can fan. 37 after the hour, and I want to talk to y'all about a fellow named Chris Eubanks, who is stunning the Wimbledon world. All 6'7" of them. That's right, all 6'7" of them. You know, until a week ago, Chris Eubanks said himself he didn't think he was capable of doing this. Then he says, quote, I would show up to tour events saying, oh, can I get through a couple of rounds here? Now I genuinely say, probably for the first time, I'm showing up to tournaments with higher expectations and really wanting to do well and put my best foot forward. I'm no longer feeling okay just being there. I know that I belong. Close quote. Like I said, all 6'7" of them stunned two-time slam runner-up Stefanos Tsitsipas 3-6, 7-6, 3-6, 6-4, and 6-4 in a little over 3 hours on Monday. Man, are you kidding me? He says, quote, it's surreal. I really can't describe it. I just think the entire experience altogether has just been a whirlwind. It's been something you dream about. I didn't really know if that dream would actually come true. I'm sitting here in it now, so it's pretty cool. Close quote. He is ranked of best 40 as best ranking. He's at his best ranking right now at 43rd. And had a win-loss record of 6-10 before going on the run to the trophy at Mallorca, Spain on July 1st. That came on grass, which he decided a month ago, calling it, quote, the stupidest surface, close quote, in a text he sent to the International Tennis Hall of Fame member Chris Clijsters after exiting in the second round at a low-level ATP Challenger tournament. He said, quote, those words will never come out of my mouth for the rest of my career. The grass and I, we had a very strenuous, I would say, relationship over the years. This is becoming legendary. This is fun to watch. To see a black tennis player that stands tall, 6'7". Remember, he's 6'7". I'm just wondering how he's doing this. This is nuts. And I love it. Now the fun really begins. The fun really begins. He's in the quarterfinals now. Think about that. He's in the quarterfinals. Is this crazy or what? He played at a lower level ATP Challenger tour in England, and he walked away with about $2,500 in prize money, losing in straight sets in the second round to a player ranked outside the top 100, which only served to reinforce a distaste for the green surface. He recounted, I was just kind of frustrated, and I was like, grass is the stupidest surface to play tennis on. Why are we playing tennis? A sport which we need the ball to bounce on, a very inconsistent service, and you can't move on it. Biggest win of my career by far, said Eubanks. Oh, and he's dabbled in work as a TV commentator. So someone's job is going to get snatched by Eubanks when all this runs its course. He won a grass tournament, as I said, in Mallorca, Spain, to collect his first ATP Tour title and rise to a career best ranking at number 43. And Kim Clijsters offered him advice to work on grass, to help with his footwork on grass. When you get in a tournament like this and you get as far as Chris Eubanks has, now he's guaranteed, listen to this number, $436,000 for making it to the quarterfinals. You all think he'll play Sunday morning for the championship? Give me your thoughts in the chat. If you haven't learned about Chris Eubanks, go learn about him. Go learn about all 6'7" of them. And I've watched some clips, and he's got a hell of a serve. I have not had the opportunity to watch a full match with him yet. I'm going to change that. I am definitely going to change that. And now with him getting to the quarterfinals, I want him to win. I want him to win the damn thing. You know, the late Bobby Bowden said it best after a trick play against Clemson. I want somebody to win. I was determined we were going to win this thing. Well, Chris Eubanks, I hope you go in with that same attitude that you want to win. That you really want to win. I really hope. I hope and pray you come in with that same attitude. My thoughts on Damian Lillard when y'all get back. The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
I'm in another lane, I'm a different breed. I'm everything you can never be. I'm next level. Next level.
Thursday nights are wrestling night on CSTV. Tune in every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific to see all the amazing next level pro wrestling stars on Thursday Night Throwdown on CSTVNow.com and the CSTV app on your Roku device.
PK Tire Pro is your one-stop on-the-spot auto service headquarters for a complete line of quality tires and auto services. For years, we have provided the Stockton, California area with the latest products and unprecedented services for everything we sell. And for years, our customers have been coming back. Take a look around. If you don't find what you need, visit us in Stockton, California. From the latest and best in tire technology to the services required to keep your vehicle looking good and running great, PK Tire Pros can get you out on the road quickly and at an affordable price. Stop by soon and see why so many people consider PK Tire Pros to be the one-stop shop for all of their tire needs. At PK Tire Pros, our friendly and knowledgeable staff, quick and dependable service professionals, and affordable prices all come together to make driving out on a new set of tires easy. On top of that, we never tire of tires. Stop by and see us, and you'll be glad you did.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
Gathered here on the Brian Snow Show. Welcome in. Thank you for joining me today. Couple changes I'm going to make with the show going forward. I am going to employ a partner. It's what I had to do for Snowman in the morning, and I have since already selected him. And by mid-August, you will find out the identity of my partner. It's still, the title will remain the same. It's just I got to have someone else in here. I realize how tough it is to carry a show, a 2-hour show by myself. I mean, yeah, I did it for many years, but also for many years I had co-hosts doing an hour show with me. But I now know that I have to have a partner, and I will. By mid-August, you will know who that partner is. I've already selected him, and I feel he will be right for the show. I feel that he would fit. I feel that he has fit the criteria that I was looking for as a host, as a co-host, and I really believe that we're going to do something special and take this show to the next level with our sports coverage and our great interviews. Attention sports fans looking for the ultimate gear and apparel to show your team pride. Look no further than Fanatics, the #1 destination for sports enthusiasts. Visit snowmanmultimediasports.com/fanatics today and shop a wide selection of officially licensed merchandise from your favorite teams, from jerseys to hats, accessories to collectibles. Fanatics has it all. Don't miss out on the chance to elevate your game day experience. Head over to snowmanmultimediasports.com/fanatics and gear up like a true fan with Fanatics. Fanatics officially license everything. Man, I got so much that I need to do, that I need to catch up, but I can tell you the podcast is available on all your favorite podcast networks. And I'll get it all updated tonight. I will get it up. I promise I will get it all updated tonight. So in case you haven't haven't watched the show or haven't had a chance to listen to the show, I will get it updated tonight. But I am just going to begin the update with this show because I know I missed a month of posting because my body has been so tired, and I have been so disorganized. I have been disorganized like crazy. I mean, even looking at my desk now with the notes and the greeting and the notes from my guests that I'm going to have on later and the live reads, I've been disorganized. But at the same time, this organizes me in terms of how to present this show. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention the one and only Cole Johnson as the executive producer of the show. Man, I can't say enough things about Cole Johnson. And when I asked him to be the executive producer of Snowman in the Morning, he jumped all over it. And he didn't ask either. I just knew he would be the perfect partner for me. Just be heard. It was so awesome speaking with you today. You rock. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Matter of fact, I'm going to flip things. Top of the next hour, you will see the interview I recorded with one Tamara Rucker-Wood, and y'all are going to enjoy it. You'll see that at the top of the hour, and then I'll go Damian Lillard next after that. But when I hired Cole Johnson to be my executive producer of the show, and now of the network, there's so much structure that he brought to me. Structure I didn't have. Structure I never believed I'd have, quite honestly. It was something else. And now with Jody being the COO of Snowman Multimedia, she's brought even more structure to it. Granted, my desk doesn't look like it, but she's brought so much structure to it with her great ideas. And her ideas just seem to come at the right time. They do. They just seem to come at the right time. And while this is fun to do, I owe an apology to those of you who were watching on CSTV for yesterday. There was a goof up, and it's my fault. And after I said it wouldn't happen again, sometime back, it happened again. Here's what happened. I lay down for a nap, and I missed my alarm. Simply put, I goofed up, and I missed my alarm. Today, I took a chance in not taking a nap, but I have to take a nap every day. I got to be like Wise and take a nap every day. Because there are some days with everything that I have to do here around the house and here in studio, there are times I'm so exhausted that once I sit down, I don't get back up. Ever have one of those kind of times? where you just go flat and you don't get up. Yeah, I've had a lot of those lately. And I'll mention again, it's my fault because I wasn't prepared. There's a lot of things I wasn't prepared for, but no sense in crying over spilled milk because I'm getting prepared now for what's going to be an incredible football season of coverage, college and pro, and maybe some high school football. You never know. Never know. But I have Sunday afternoon baseball now that I do every Sunday, and every stream that I do is a fundraiser since my channel's been now monetized, and I'm so happy about that. So if you want to donate to the show, you can do so via PayPal and via Cash App. Man, I'm getting ready for what's going to be an incredible 2023-2024 broadcast season. And it's going to be crazy. It is going to be absolutely nuts, everything I'm going to do, because I have Sunday afternoon baseball on the docket. I got Sunday night football on the docket. So the Sunday games for baseball for the remainder of the season may become, I don't know, Friday. I don't know. I have to figure that portion out because I know I got to do baseball to the end of the year. I'm going to try to add WNBA back to the program, to the play-by-play programming schedule. The one game I tried to do, I couldn't keep up, and it was just so late, and I was so exhausted that I couldn't finish it. And that's been my problem, getting back in the booth, not being able to finish games. And I love calling games. I love calling games. I just have to get used to doing it this way until we get to our next location and I can really hop back in the booth. I can really hop on the sales trail and sell this thing. But I'm going to handle these games from here on out like I would handle a high school season. I'm going out to get I'm reaching out to get sponsors. I'm reaching out to get advertisers and just do this thing as legitimately as I can. Because there are some people out there who think I'm still not legitimate in doing this, even though I've been doing this 28 years. You know, something that Jason Joseph, a.k.a. my friend JJ, said, this is the new wave to do play-by-play. And everybody has a channel or a video where they do play-by-play and reactions, so I'm going to throw my hat in the ring and do it too. Only I bring a lot of experience behind me. Now I have to apply it in a different setting, and I don't mind. I don't mind, and I don't care. It's going to get done. A break, and when we come back, you'll see an interview that I taped with Tanya Rucker-Wood, a fabulous author who survived a lot. You'll see it next on The Brian Snow Show. The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is The Brian Snow Show.
Done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
TV will air the Big 3, and I'll call the doggone games. Ice Cube, bring your show out west. And we'll handle it. I am making a public plea right now. You want some fair coverage? CSTV will air your games, all of them. And I'll call as many as I can. We'll do a simulcast, television and radio. It's an area I know best. Television and radio. And yeah, I'm putting it all the way out there. So you know what, Ice Cube? I'll make this plea right now. Me, a small time YouTuber, a small time broadcaster, according to a lot of people, which I don't listen to. Put your games on CSTV. Put your games on CSTV. Give us a little funding, and we'll do the rest.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
Your afternoons just got better with the Brian Snow Show. Weekdays, 4 p.m. Eastern. Come on aboard and enjoy the ride, folks.
I'm in another league. I'm a different breed. I'm everything you can never be. I'm next level. Next level.
Thursday nights are wrestling night on CSTV. Tune in every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific to see all the amazing Next Level Pro Wrestling stars on Thursday Night Throwdown on CSTVNow.com and the CSTV app on your Roku device.
PK Tire Pro is your one-stop on-the-spot auto service headquarters for a complete line of quality tires and auto services. For years, we have provided the Stockton, California area with the latest products and unprecedented services for everything we sell. And for years, our customers have been coming back. Take a look around. If you don't find what you need, visit us in Stockton, California. From the latest and best in tire technology to the services required to keep your vehicle looking good and running great, PK Tire Pros can get you out on the road quickly and at an affordable price. Stop by soon to see why so many people consider PK Tire Pros to be the one-stop shop for all of their tire needs. At PK Tire Pros, our friendly and knowledgeable staff, quick and dependable service professionals, and affordable prices all come together to make driving out on a new set of tires easy. On top of that, we never tire of tires. Stop by and see us, and you'll be glad you did.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
Well, it's indeed the Brian Snow Show, and I'm happy y'all joined us. And I want to introduce someone very, very special on this Tuesday edition. She is from St. Louis, Missouri. She is a wife, a mother, an Army veteran, and a self-published author. What's the phrase? You want something done? You got to do it yourself. And this woman did it herself. Here she is. This is Tamara Rucker-Wood. She joins me right now. Good afternoon, Tamara.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How are you today?
I'm well. How are you? I see that big smile on your face.
I'm super happy to be here.
Hey, I'm happy. I'm happy to have you. The other thing about Tamara, folks, that I failed to mention, and I'll mention here, she is a survivor. And the incident, I read your bio and the incidents that you went through while in the Army. A lot of people don't understand this goes on a lot. It's just a lot of it that a lot of the assaults are not being reported, and that's kind of bad to me.
Yes, indeed. I can honestly tell you there's that whole good old boy system that's in there. You can try to be as tough as you want to, but unfortunately things happen, and reporting is not necessarily something that can necessarily go somebody's way. Whether it's really prevalent among men too.
Why do you think that is?
I think a lot of times we're told, there's this thing called, are you familiar with Army culture at all?
Yeah, I'm a little familiar with it, yes.
So you got, sick call, and you break something, you hurt something, and
right.
You go to sick hall, they call you a sick hall ranger. Addressing mental health, it's something they're trying to do more now, but when I was in, it definitely was not. And if you did report something, you know, it could definitely backfire against you. You either get like, you know, you'd be the problem. You'd be considered the problem because they want the whole look that everyone's a cohesive unit, even when they're not. Unfortunately, I'm not going to say I didn't love it. I didn't love my career. I didn't love what I did because I did love what I was doing.
Right.
So
you were featured in Bodybuilding Magazine and Women's Fitness and Army Times. What was that like? How did that feel?
That was actually really awesome. So when I was in Iraq, I had a male approach me in the gym. His name was Mark Kring. He was Mr. New York, and he was in another unit, a different unit than me. And he said, "Hey, I like the way you look. I think you'd, you know, have the potential to become a bodybuilder. You've got the build for it. I'd like to train you." And he actually set up an entire bodybuilding competition base wide. And so he got, you know, Bodybuilding Magazine, bodybuilder.com, Women's Fitness, and all of them to sponsor it. And they came, you know, we did the show, and I ended up winning. I ended up winning. I spent every day in the gym when I was not on mission.
And that is wonderful to have to have that happen. You know, what was the original thing that got you into fitness? And I mean heavy into it.
I've just always been a fitness person since I was a kid. Yeah, I ran track. My mom, she was, you know, into sports. My dad as well. Both of them are Army vets. And they just kind of brought me up to stay outside. You know, I came from a house where it was like, you know, you go outside and you come in when the street lights come on, and that's it. You drink out the hose.
Yeah. I grew up in that time too. You come home when the street lights come on, and for me it was baseball. It always, especially during summer, it was always baseball. And we either played in the street or we played in the park. But with all that going on, you came home and you continued to struggle with PTSD, aka shell shock. But people don't understand how big of a struggle it is with PTSD after coming home, especially being in the service. I want to know from you, how difficult was that, struggling with PTSD?
I can say it was one of the hardest struggles of my life because when you come home, nobody understands what you're talking about.
Right.
A lot of time in the Army, you know, you talk in acronyms. You're talking about things that other people haven't experienced, interactions that other folks have not had, or they can only read about. And so when you're searching for someone to talk to, and here's the thing, everybody lives in different locations. Everyone you played with, they live in different locations. So when you come home, they're not close by. I can tell you a story where I was so depressed. I had been drinking myself silly, but I got so depressed that I just picked up the phone and I got one of our old battle rosters, and I called one of the girls that had deployed with me, and I just started crying. And I was like, "Are you feeling the way I'm feeling right now?" And she was just like, "I thought no one else was feeling that way." Like just feeling so alone when you come home. And they try to, there's this thing called reintegration where you're going through during demob when you come home, but it doesn't necessarily prepare you. It prepares you for like paperwork and stuff like that, but it does not prepare you for the roller coaster of feelings that you're going to go through when you do come home. And so it's, for so long I had been, you know, Sergeant Rucker. And when I came home and I had to get into civilian work, it was like, if I'm not Sergeant Rucker, what am I? So
was that was that a tough identity crisis you went through when you came home and you weren't Sergeant Rucker, and you had to find your way back into society?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There was no rank structure. There was
There's
You
no
know,
there's no instruction book for that, because I know friends
Mhm.
that have been in the Army and they came home, and this is the best definition I can come up with, and the best description. You're like a deer in headlights.
Mhm.
You're like a deer in headlights, and you're just aimlessly walking around. And I describe this because this is how it was described to me, and you just confirmed it. You're walking around going, what the hell do I do now? What do I pick
Mhm.
up? Where do I go?
Oh yeah. Not only that, but everything is just a bit different. Like before, you can, what the Army's like. If you're 15 minutes early, you're late.
Right,
So,
right.
you start a new job and you show up early, and everyone thinks you're being some kind of goody two shoes, but really, you're just used to showing up early. That is a structure that you've been used to for
Yeah.
so long.
Hmm.
It gets really difficult, or you do things a certain way. I can tell you. I don't know if you read in the bio, where I worked in a jail.
Yep. Yep.
So my job was as a military police officer in the military. So when I came home, law enforcement was my thing. And I started working in a jail,
Hmm.
and I ended up, getting. Now, granted, like the inmates that I was looking after, they loved the fact that I gave them structure.
Right.
But
Right.
unfortunately, the other guards did not necessarily catch
Ah,
on to it.
ouch. Ouch.
So,
Ouch. Why is it that people, I must ask this question because it's something that I've had to relearn 100,000 times. And thanks to my wife, Jody, I finally got some structure in my business. But why is it so tough, especially now in the 21st century, for people to learn a basic thing called structure? Why do you think it's tough?
because everything's so chaotic, I think everything is a bit easy. Information is so easy to get.
Yeah.
It's not. It's hard to. I guess it's hard to put in words. Like they don't necessarily have to work so hard for it. Like nobody has to
Right.
pick up a book. No, don't have to pick up a book anymore for real. We
Right.
just Google it. Everything just kind of comes to them. Not to mention we kind of live in a society where there's a lot of coddling. Like we were talking about, where
Yep.
we were used to being outside. We were used to kind of fending for ourselves, being,
Yep. Yep.
outside kids come in smelling like outside.
Yeah.
It's like grandma used to say, you smell like outside.
Both my parents used to say that. You smell like outside. Go take a bath. And you knew you put, and as a kid, you knew you put in a full day when you get that statement from your parents.
Hmm. And now it feels like it's really, really coddled,
Hmm.
really coddled.
It
So
seems like a ghost town. When you go outside nowadays and you don't see kids playing outside or running around like crazy, doesn't it feel like a ghost town at some
a
point?
little bit. I can honestly say I do love my street, the street that me and my
Mhm.
husband, we decided to live on. Nice
Yeah.
little cul-de-sac, and we were the first couple here that had kids. It was all mostly elderly folks. And
Mhm.
within like our first year of moving here, the lady across the street had a baby right after I had my second child. And actually, another neighbor that's like 2 doors down from me, we actually had our sons on the same day.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I didn't know her, but another neighbor told me that our due date was the same.
Yeah.
And we ended up giving birth in the same hospital. Our sons, have the same pediatrician. It's, and
I love it.
so
I
they
love
play together, and
Yeah.
we just get all the kids out. Like my husband he loves to be outside with the kids,
Yep.
and
Yeah. It's something else, and I love her. Tamara Rucker-Wood joining me here this afternoon. Let's talk about your books. The first book you published, Star of Her Stripes, Internal Seduction, a romance novella. What led to the idea for you to create this book?
I honestly, so I'm gonna go ahead and try not to confirm with my husband was thinking. He's like, "Oh, is this what you want? Is this what you fantasize about?" And I'm like, "No, the main character's named after my mom." It's about a young woman, a young. It is. It is. The main character is named after a mud.
That sounds like a conversation my wife and I have a lot, and we both, just like now, wind up laughing when we have this kind of conversation.
Oh my God.
I love it.
It's just about a young woman who, wants to get into politics. And she does. She takes an intern, a job as an intern. And, this rich politician she's working for, he ends up, swooning her, and she falls for him. But, he's a married man.
Pow! There's the hook. There's the hook I'm looking for. Then this year, you published The Serene Path, The Art of Guided Meditation. Talk to us about that.
Yes. Okay. I'm excited about this one. So while I was struggling, and I still struggle with it, it just takes a lot to function day to day.
Right.
But with the help of my VA, because the VA here in St. Louis is amazing. They used to be kind of, but once I gave them a chance, they were absolutely amazing. I had an amazing mental health team, and they helped me, learn how to meditate, not only have faith in myself, but meditate. And so there's this thing called whole health. And so I got into meditation. I got into acupuncture. I got into a whole bunch of things that they offer with the whole health program. And I just kind of wrote it from there into, some peace. And I said, okay, well, let me go ahead and try to help other people learn how to do this or structure their type of meditation, because it doesn't have to always be candles. You can try to find ways to meditate at any time, but it is something that definitely help clear my mind, because I'm one of those people with just a really busy brain. It's always running, even at night. It's just always going.
Yes.
And just finding a way to kind of quiet my mind. And I felt like if meditation could help me quiet my mind, I wonder if I could share this with other people and help them try to quiet their mind. Because I did notice that I also have 2 businesses. And one thing that I was noticing was that my mind was so busy, and I'm trying to do all these things at once, but I wasn't getting anywhere.
Right.
So once I actually decided to meditate and start thinking about the decisions that I was actually making, things actually started to get better. I started to feel better physically. I started to feel, make better decisions when it came to my business. And instead of just being on the fly all the time, just stopping and thinking and putting my mind in one place as opposed to all over the place. And it not only helped me with that, it helped my children calm down, because I have one very rambunctious 3-year-old. And he's very in tune with my feelings. And once I stopped to think, and once I stopped, meditation helped me calm myself down, it was a lot easier to calm him down.
Wow. Beautiful. The final book in front of me, Breaking the Chain, Empowering Strategies to Deal with a Narcissist. What inspired that? What inspired that book?
Oh boy. Not only, I can honestly say, and I was just talking to my husband about this the other day. I was saying, honey, you do have some narcissistic tendencies, but so do I. And I can have a tendency to be very self-serving at times. And who doesn't?
Right.
Who doesn't?
Right.
But we were both going through, our struggles. Not only was I going through my struggle with PTSD, but at that point in time, it was all about me. And he had his struggles. It was about him.
Right.
And so we both were struggling with our narcissistic tendencies. And so I decided to take a more deeper dive into it and figure out what it is exactly that we could do to better communicate with each other. Now, within this book, it also, and I also have other like friends who are in relationships with a narcissist as well,
Right.
who don't necessarily want to leave them, because there are different types of narcissists. You've got malignant narcissists, which is the worst, most violent person,
Yeah.
who would
Yeah,
hurt
yeah.
you.
Mm-hmm.
But you've also got the ones that are more psychologically, that they're hurt.
Yep.
They're hurt people. And, you've ever heard that term, hurt people hurt people.
Yes.
And so it not only talks about how to break the chain of, like, that's the whole point of the title, breaking the chain of it, but how to see that person as a person and know that they are coming from a place of hurt or trauma. But it also tells people, how to get away from it, how to, not feed into it. Because I can tell you, sometimes I notice that I might feed into my husband wanting to argue, or he might feed into me wanting to argue. And that's that narcissist kind of coming out of me or coming out of him. That ends up fueling an argument. So it's best to, in this particular book, and coming from the mind of, sort of a narcissist myself, as well as him, being able to put that on paper and saying, okay, this is how you kind of break the chain and start communicating. And, or if you do want to get away from that, here's a way to do it, but have these considerations as well.
Yeah. Dated one in 2015 and didn't realize how much of a raging narcissist she was until she assaulted me.
Oh.
And I was just so fogged out at the time, and so attracted to her that not only did it lead to an assault, it led to abuse, physical, mental, verbal, and I rarely tell this story, but I'll tell this part of it. After we had gotten an apartment together, my spider senses went off, saying, what is going on here? And one day she called me with the threat of the police coming to the apartment if I don't get my stuff out of there. And I'm like, what? I spent the last 2 nights away to let you calm down. So yeah, that was my break. And at the time, I didn't realize that was the break I needed to get away from her. I didn't realize that was the break I needed. So it works both ways. It works both ways. So I'm glad I got away. I am glad that you came on the program today. I've been thrilled and pleased to have you. I'd love to have you on again whenever you're available. Keep striving, keep getting better, keep your businesses running. I hope we can stay friends for a very, very long time. And I appreciate you coming on today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. You have a great one.
You have a great one also. Tamara Rucker-Wood joining me here this afternoon. And we will take a break. And when y'all get back, I'll wrap this thing up. This is the Brian Snow Show. The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So talk, they hear you. You can do it if you try.
He was only 58 years old when he passed away. That outcome could have been different.
Colorado happens to be one of the worst states for radon levels.
It's in our ground, and it seeps up.
The more you breathe radon, the more chance you have of DNA being hit and the cell mutated. The EPA estimates 22,000 lung cancer deaths a year caused by radon.
We all make choices. When it comes to alcohol, kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Have fun. Hey, have a seat for a second. Remind me about that party again?
Alex is just...
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. They want guidance and honest answers to their questions. And it makes a difference when the message is consistent and part of everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is The Brian Snow Show.
.26 after the hour. Second hour here of The Brian Snow Show. Glad y'all are with us. And a special thank you to those of you watching on CSTV based out of Reno, Nevada and all points west, and seen in 82 countries around the world via Roku. Thank you. Now I'm going to tell a very difficult story. It's a story that a lot of people will not believe or do not believe or whatever, but it's a story that I have to tell often because I lived it. And the story goes like this. In 2015, met a young lady named Jody Dials. And after losing my potential wife, Liz, and my baby to a forced adoption and me becoming persona non grata and all the communication was cut off, I was lonely. Simply put, I was lonely. I met her and I thought everything would be okay. I thought everything would be fine until her attitude kicked in. It just seemed like every few days she was accusing me of something I didn't do. And I'll tell you how deeply embedded in me she was. I had a baseball game to cover. And she came to the field and told me I needed to leave. And I told her I'm in the middle of a baseball game. And she started yelling at me there at the park. And I cowered and I left. Lost my job as a play-by-play announcer for that team. I didn't know what was going on with me, or I didn't know what was happening to me. I didn't know what was happening to me. I just knew at the time that if she wasn't smiling, neither was I. And that kind of hurt, realizing what I was going through. But I didn't at the time. I didn't know. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I just knew something had changed, and that I was driving from LaPorte to Glenview when the first accusation of me cheating on her came in. She yelled at me, she barked at me. I tried to defend myself and tell her that it's not true, and it wasn't true. I'm not that kind of guy. I've never been that kind of guy. She didn't care. She just did not care. And she hung up the phone, and I was crying all the way back to Glenview. Didn't tell the roommate what was going on, didn't care. Then she called me and asked, "Are we going to fix this thing or not?" I said, "Okay. What do you want me to do?" I didn't have any balls back then, but at the same time, like I said, I didn't know what was going on with me. She said, "Meet me in LaPorte for lunch." I said, "Where do you want to go?" And we went to this pizza place. And at that time, I was like exhausted. I was exhausted because from Glenview to LaPorte is a 90-minute drive. And I was making that basically daily. I can tell you that is probably the only meal that we shared together that there was not any verbal violence. Because every other time there was an accusation that flew at me. There was something that was my fault that flew at me. There was something that I didn't do and need to do better that flew at me. I stupidly made her my sales manager because I was desperate to make a living doing this. I was purely desperate to make a living doing this. And boy, did she take advantage of it. As I said, I didn't know what to do at the time. I truly didn't. Now I know better, but that was just one of those times that I couldn't believe what was happening to me. I thought I was the same person. People were telling me left and right. They were telling me left and right, "Man, you have changed." I'm like, "How? I didn't change." Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And I changed for the worse because I got real quiet. I got like so closed up in a cocoon of fear that I didn't talk to anybody. I wasn't my usual self. I really wasn't. It was all because of Jody Dials. That changed me. She wouldn't even sleep with me. And I'm not saying sexually, just not especially sexually. She just wouldn't sleep with me, period. She threw a party at a local hotel in LaPorte to celebrate a birthday. I did not drink that much. I do not drink that much. Sometimes when I worry about people, they take it as me being overbearing. I am not overbearing. I just worry about my friends a lot, and I worried about her. And she kept telling me, "Oh, I'm fine, and I knew better. I knew better. And I didn't listen to my gut feeling. I stupidly did not listen to my gut feeling and cut her off, cut her loose. I figured I was with somebody after everything that happened with me, Liz, and the baby. I'd be okay. It just got worse. Right now, I'm taking y'all through the summer of 2015 when we were trying to find a place. Applications being put in like crazy. Application fees being paid like crazy. And I basically was out of work. If I did any broadcasting, it was in Chicago. And she hated that because I was that far away. Luckily, I got through the summer and I would watch her niece play softball, and I would ask, what do I have to do to become an umpire? Because it was drilled in my head every day. You got to find some work. You got to find some work. You got to find some work. You can't concentrate on your business all day, every day. That was drilled into me by her. And what more was drilled into me was this following statement. You won't succeed in your business without me. And for the longest time, I thought she was right. For the longest time, I thought, hell, I can't. So by the end of July, we were sponsor shopping, trying to get in at different places. She went to one place, I went to another. But I will say one time that I quote unquote got over on her is when she questioned me going to a car dealership. And it was a car dealership I already sold a sponsorship to. $3,000 worth. 3,000 buccarinis. I can't believe I to this day I can't believe I sold that deal. And just remembering that gives me confidence even now that I can sell what I'm doing right now. All the way through July 4th, she kept cinching at me and begging and bugging me and asking me questions to the point where I was so scared to leave Starbucks on a deal that I already made. And now it's like, why didn't I just tell her at the time? You know why I didn't tell her at the time? Because I was so scared. I was scared as hell of what might happen to me. And for those of you that are thinking, hey, you're taller than her, you're bigger than her, you can handle her, hold the phone. Hold the phone. If I laid a finger on her, my ass was in jail, even in retaliation. And she called me all kinds of ugly names, trying to incite me in many cases. Landed a deal with the Best Western of LaPorte for 10 free nights. And she used 8 of them, unbeknownst to me. When I came to LaPorte one night because I needed a break from the roommate, my nights were used up. And I said, how? And the manager was there and told me that Jody had used them all. And I said, can I have those nights reinstated, please? And she reinstated them And I told the manager, unless you hear directly from me making the reservation, no one touches these. And she said, yes, sir. You have all 10 nights restored, and we will also pay you for advertising us on your games. Big dog, I know you remember, because I called you seemed like every couple of hours. It hurt. It hurt. It hurt badly. Well, I got those 10 nights restored. And found a place. Found a place with her. Which I couldn't believe. Yeah, we found a place. And I started bringing my stuff. And Shane, I know you remember this. Her stuff was all over the place. Mine was packed in the closet. Talk about being closed in. I was really closed in. But that was my quote-unquote shelter for the time being. And I was being pulled on two sides. One, dealing with a horrible roommate who wanted nothing but money. And two, dealing with an abusive girlfriend at the time who wanted nothing but money and wanted to monopolize my time. I couldn't go back to the baseball team that I was covering. I had been fired. I did call them and beg them to give me my job back, but that didn't work. I let Jody sometimes I feel like I let Jody get the best of me. When in all honesty, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I didn't know what the hell was going on. When we moved into said apartment, she wouldn't stay with me. She would make the excuse of, this place doesn't have a bed. I said, all right, let's get one. Nope, she wouldn't bite. She wouldn't bite. And this went on until October of 2015, when I was listening to baseball by myself while she was elsewhere. Football season started. Now, those of you who know me or know of me know I am a madman when it comes to preparation. And I'm getting back into being a madman when it comes to preparation just to do my shows. She came in the booth one night and was pointing to different things on my program that she thought I didn't do. Never mind the fact that every read that I made had a big X through it, which is why I carried a highlighter, which is why I carried a felt pen. And all I kept hearing, you need to do this better. You need to do that better. And then one day, as I was driving toward LaPorte, Indiana. What's up, Omar? Good to have you here. And then one day when I was driving toward LaPorte, Indiana, she called, yelling at me, saying she can do more for my company. And I said, all right, what would you like to do? And her next sentence to me snapped me into reality. when she said, and Shane, I know you remember this conversation, when she said, I want to be CEO. I hung up, slapped in the face virtually by that statement. That woke me up, and that also pissed me off. Led to our next argument when she questioned what I do for the games. And I took her through the entire preparation process. Every commercial that I wrote, I recorded. Every commercial that I wrote, I produced. Every commercial that rolled, I should say, during every Laporte sports broadcast, I put together. And yet I was being told I didn't do enough for Laporte broadcast, for the Laporte slicers. Really? And then came the night that she hit me. We were painting the apartment. And somehow we got into an argument about who's living there or what's going on or whatever. And that's when she hit me. October 2015. That's when she hit me. Men shouldn't hit women and women shouldn't hit men. I never thought that would happen to me. I got in my car and I drove until I got to Gary, Indiana. I slept in the gas station that night. And for once, I felt safe. For once, I felt safe. And it's a good thing I had my equipment with me always. I found places where I could take a shower. I found places where I could change. I found places where I could function. But Laporte didn't have a Starbucks, and at that time, I was glad of it. I was up on the phone with Shane until 4 a.m. I was up on the phone with Shane until 4 a.m. before I finally crashed. And this is still 2015. I didn't know what the hell to do. Oh, and at that time, I had taken on a client, Door Village United Methodist Church, and airing their church service. Getting $100 a month from them, and they were so gracious to me. They actually made me feel welcome in Laporte. So did the Slicer family. I'm like, what the hell is this? Everybody else making me feel welcome except the person I'm dating who's supposed to love me. And one day in August, she and my roommate were having a conversation. Think about that. She and my roommate were having a conversation on the phone. And I heard my roommate say, I can't get any money out of him and I'm about to toss him out. What the fuck do I do? Forgive me. I am so sorry. Forgive me, Tom. Forgive me. Oh, I didn't mean for that to slip out. I am sorry, ladies and gentlemen. What am I supposed to do? Then September happened, and then the game to Maryville happened. And Shane, I know you remember this one. I went in, I did the game. I was doing great. But I knew she was lurking around somewhere. I just knew it. I knew it. the drive home from Maryville. I didn't see her up in the booth all game, and I was happy. I got 2 calls from her. The first one, she was telling me how much she missed me, how much she loved me, and I hope you're safe. And then the second one, I don't know what you're doing or who you're doing it with, but I hope you're having a good time. And she hung up. She hung up. I'm like, what did I do? What did I do? I didn't do anything for this. Really? It was like that all season, all football season. And then came December of 2015, when a fellow named Alvin Washington, who had been my friend for 20 years, started nagging me about my appearance, which to me was impeccable at the time. You know what happened? She told him what was wrong with me, and he called me. That bitch came in between Alvin and I. 20-year friendship down the fucking tubes. I'm like, what is this? 20-year friendship down the tubes. Here's the kicker. I had a feeling she was cheating on me. I didn't realize she was cheating on me with 2 guys. And Alvin Washington was one of them. She wouldn't even sleep with me, sexual or otherwise. And then on top of that, the only time she did sleep with me, she got pregnant with my child. You know what happened next? A month later, she lost my child. She killed my child. Moving furniture, running up and down the stairs, and then a miscarriage happens. I'll never be able to prove it. I will never be able to prove it. And I know this, because I don't want to contact her ever again. I don't want her contacting me. I know I'll never be able to prove what I'm about to say next, but I think she purposely killed our baby. And then November 2015, I was in the McDonald's working on some stuff, had my headphones on, and she's walking toward me. I'm just going, how did you find me? How did you find me? So I want to know, how'd you find me? And this is after I found out my daughter had passed away. I was just getting the word in November. She passed away in March. I was just getting the word. You know what she said to me? She said, I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about business. That did it. To get away from her and to get away from the roommate, I hid in a hotel for 3 months. And you're right. I don't think she was actually pregnant either, but she told me that. And knowing I had just lost Donna, my baby girl, it hit me. It really hit me. I hid in a hotel for 3 months. 3 months. And then December of 2015, my world went upside down. Because in one night, I went from partially staying in Glenview and the roommate kicking me out to the next morning, Jody kicking me out of the apartment. And I signed the blankety blank paperwork for it. Roommate said, "You got to go." And I finally snapped like a twig and I wore his ass out. Then came the next morning when I got the call. "You need to come get your stuff or I'm calling the police." I was in a spiral of depression at the time, and it just kept getting worse. It kept getting worse. It kept getting worse. For those of you with CSTV, I'm going to sign off here. And for those of you watching via YouTube, no matter what YouTube channel, I will continue the story. So thank you to the folks at CSTV for tuning in. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is The Brian Snow Show.
Now that everyone is still here, I will continue the story because I know I'm going to run beyond 6 o'clock. So I'm going to get this entire story out. It was worse. It just got worse and worse and worse every day. Every day. "You're not doing this right. You're not doing that right." She would hit me. She would yell at me. She would do any and everything to goad me to a point where we were visiting a potential client for a sale. She just kept egging at me and throwing words at me and making my blood boil. And I couldn't lose it in front of the client. I just couldn't. It got to a point where we were sitting down for lunch one day and one of her exes called and he tried to warn me and I didn't listen. Yeah, I got to leave females like that as soon as freaking possible. And I didn't. These were 10 of the longest months of my life. Then came December 15th, 2015. The day everything crumbled. She woke me up with a phone call. I drove from LaPorte, Indiana I drove from Glenview, Illinois, I beg your pardon, to LaPorte, Indiana. And I didn't realize what the hell was going to happen that day. I had no clue whatsoever. None. She told me to come down and let's talk. So I'm thinking, okay, things are about to get better. She actually kissed me. Seriously, she actually kissed me. And I thought, okay, here we go. Here's the turning point. And you're right, she wouldn't tell me exactly how I messed up, just that I messed up. I didn't even do a show that morning. I did not even do a show that morning. And I'm driving back toward Chesterton when I get a phone call. And that phone call came from Alvin Washington. And that phone call had her on the other line. When he said to me, Jody and I are in a relationship. I am confirming it. I was pissed. I was devastated. I'm surprised I didn't get a speeding ticket driving 70 miles an hour from Chesterton, Indiana to Chicago, Illinois. I did not think that would happen to me. And it did. It did. I cried, I yelled, I screamed, I cussed. I kept asking, how could he do this to me? How could she do this to me? And I should have known it was a setup a few days prior when, while I was getting ready for a LaPorte basketball game, he told me to come get him because he wanted to do the game with me. And it was that day I unloaded everything that was going on in that relationship. Everything. I unloaded it all because I thought I could trust him. I thought I could trust him. Wrong. When I got that call on December 15th saying that they were in a relationship, it tore me to pieces. Luckily, the guys from Door Village found me a place and I moved in. I cranked up the heat and I didn't leave my apartment for 4 days. I got a computer, I got internet, and I was ready to rock. Then came Christmas night, 2015. Christmas night 2015. If you thought the call I got broke me, this was even worse. I got the call, and she asked me over for Christmas dinner. And I thought about saying yes until she said that Alvin would be there. And at that time, I went the hell off. Completely off. I didn't have another game until after the New Year. I spent New Year's Eve inside my apartment with pizza and beer. Speed up to March 2016 when I got a call from Tony Midas at Marquette Catholic saying that Ms. Dials had contacted a sponsor of the school. That was the last straw. And I said, March, I stand corrected. It was January, mid-January. And I could not take it anymore. I couldn't take it anymore. I told her to bring back my manual and kick rocks. And her retort to me was, you can't do this to me. Well, bitch, I just did. And that began the longest odyssey of my life. The longest. finding a way for me to get back to me. It took a couple of years. And that was one of my lowest points, was that relationship. But then, a couple of years later, came one of my highest points. When I met my Dr. K. And since then, it's been a joyride. One of the strangest part of this, Ms. Dials tried to contact my wife via a friend request. My wife said, I don't need that in my life, and you don't need it in yours. Couldn't be happier. Could not be happier. That's the entire story. So, if anybody thinks that abuse doesn't happen to men in a relationship, you couldn't be more wrong. You could not be more wrong. Because I can tell you from experience, it does happen. Boy, does it happen. It's just when it happens to men, everyone is silent. And everyone chooses to remain silent, to the point where I went to the LaPorte police to say, hey, you got this going on. And they didn't believe me. Hello, Winnie Pooh. And I think that's my cue to go when she's here. This is Winnie. Y'all know Winnie very well. And I think that's my cue to go. Isn't it, Winnie Pooh? Isn't it, Winnie Pooh? Well, I couldn't be happier with who I'm with right now. And I mean every bit of that. LaPorte police, y'all suck. Because I tried like hell to let them know what was happening to me. And they wouldn't bleep and listen. You didn't go far, did you, Winnie Pooh? Well, guess what? I'm happy. I am totally happy. And I've got my first super sticker from Just Be Heard SPC. Thank you for that. I've overstepped my time, but I needed to get that story out. I hope you all enjoy the shows. I enjoy bringing it to you. You coming back, Winnie Pooh? Yeah, she's just crawling all over the place. Let me get her situated, and I'll get myself situated. Thanks for listening, everybody. I appreciate you. I love you. I love you too, Winnie Pooh. And I will see y'all tomorrow. So long, everybody. Whoops. I hit the wrong button because I got to close this out the right way. And now she's just flopped on my desk. Ah, the love of Winnie. So long, everybody.
Thank you for tuning in to The Brian Snow Show, where sports is the base, life and fun are the results.